Hi everyone, welcome to Our Time to Wander. It's Sally and Rick, and we're here with a special video today. We're hoping to share a bit about who we are, some of the trips that we've done in the past, and what our plans are for the future.
Hi everyone, we're Rick and Sally, retired educators from Canada, ready to wander and explore all the wonderful corners of our world.
We'll be sharing our adventures as we try new foods, experience different cultures, and explore in nature.
We hope you'll join us on our travels. It's our time to wander.
Sal, you want to tell us a bit about yourself?
Sounds good. I'm Sally, and I was a kindergarten teacher for about 30 years and very happy in that career. But now I've been retired for about 3 years, and I'm also very happily retired. And yeah, I'm ready to take on some new travel experiences.
And I've been in education for 33 years, and I just retired as a school principal. This is day 2, actually, of my retirement, and I'm looking forward to full-time travel. And we're hoping that you'll come join us as we start to venture and explore all around the world. Just so much more to life than just what we experience here in our home here in Vancouver, which is beautiful, but the world's just so large and there's just so much more to do. So since then, I feel like we've really taken advantage as much as we could while working to travel. So probably the place that we've traveled the most is Europe.
Yeah.
What was our first trip to Europe together?
Well, 2007, we went to Europe with our daughters. They were sort of preteen age, and we tried to hit some sort of major highlights like Rome and London and Paris. And yeah, that was an awesome trip too.
So we saw the Eiffel Tower, the Colosseum,
Yeah,
the Tower
of London.
Tower of London.
Yeah.
So it was a great first trip to Europe as a family. We then followed up with another trip, 2010 I think it was, and that time rather than going north-south, we went east-west. And that time we visited Hungary, so Budapest. We went to Germany. We went into Munich. Went into Austria and spent time in Vienna, and then ended off in Switzerland. And that was an amazing trip. I remember staying in a little town called Lauterbrunnen. And Lauterbrunnen was a town up in the mountains, surrounded by waterfalls. And whether it was hiking up to a lookout one day or walking to the waterfalls, it was just, and actually we had a chance to paragliding. So that was quite an experience.
Yeah.
Any fond memories for you on that trip?
You know, it's funny, what just came to mind when you were talking was we had just one night in Bern, or just outside of Bern, and went to a swimming pool complex just sort of for something to do. And I think it was maybe included with our hotel. And it was the neatest swimming complex with tunnels to swim through and special lighting effects, and
so it's funny
sometimes
what our memories and what experiences
sometimes it's the unplanned things you just happen upon.
Probably our biggest trip to Europe was in 2015, about 9 years ago. The two of us, we had a chance to take 6 months off for a sabbatical, and we did about 5 months in Europe at that time. Now, technically, we actually went into Africa and Asia on that trip.
We did.
So, highlights or memories of that trip?
Well, that trip was really neat because we bookended it with the cruises. So we started with a Mediterranean cruise, a 3-week-long Mediterranean cruise, and got to go to Istanbul on that cruise and all along the coast of Greece and Italy and Spain. So that was an
Mm.
amazing trip. Um, yeah, and then the Baltic cruise was at the very end of that 5 month trip.
Yeah, I don't think we ever would have had a chance to travel to the Scandinavian countries if we didn't do this cruise, but we had a chance to go to Helsinki, Stockholm, Oslo,
Copenhagen.
Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made it to Morocco on that trip, and Marrakesh. Had a chance to ride camels into the desert and spend a night there. So that was a memorable part of that trip.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
Now, since then, we've had a few other trips to Europe. I remember 2018, staying in Paris. We were there when France won the World Cup. Between that and seeing the Tour de France, and then just exploring from there up to Amsterdam and then to Berlin, that was memorable. But really, we've had some memorable trips just the last couple of years to Europe.
Yeah, our youngest daughter um, has moved to Amsterdam, and so we've been fortunate to
Mm.
get to know that city pretty well, it feels like. Yeah.
And this summer, very special moment. Our
Mm-hmm.
older daughter got married in Portugal. So we had a chance to go to Portugal. Actually, we started off in Spain, and then we made our way to Portugal for the wedding, but then toured around, whether it was Porto or Lisbon or Obidos. We had a chance to tour.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I was just going to say one thing we try to do is alternate the big cities
mm,
with smaller places so that we hopefully get to know some
yeah.
urban cultural centers and also some more rural locations in those
Mm.
countries. Yeah.
So Europe by far is the place that we've spent most of our time traveling, but we've had a chance to also visit Australia. And Australia is memorable, partly because it was the last big trip right prior to the pandemic, and then we didn't travel for a few years.
Yeah.
But Australia was such a unique experience. Do you
Hmm.
remember what we did there?
Yeah, we started out in Melbourne and then we went to Brisbane. And after a few days in Brisbane, or a week or so in Brisbane, I guess, we were able to rent a van, a minivan, and that was something we'd never done on a trip before.
A camper van. So
Yeah.
we then slowly made our way down the coast, popping into these different beach towns and camping our way till we made it to Sydney,
Hmm.
which we just love Sydney. A big, beautiful city right on the harbor.
Yeah.
Reminded us a lot of our hometown here of Vancouver.
Lots of similarities with
Lots of
Vancouver.
similarities, but just loved it.
Yeah.
So that was a
Beautiful.
memorable trip.
Hmm.
Then beyond Australia and Europe and North America that we've traveled, we've also have spent some time in Asia, but specifically two countries, China and Japan.
Yeah.
Our first trip to China, we visited Beijing on an educator's tour. So we had a chance to go visit a school in Tianjin and then tour around Beijing. We followed that up with another trip just a couple of years later and took our younger daughter with us. And we visited Shanghai and that region.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we did a little tour, a bus tour of the Yangtze Delta. It was also an educator's tour.
Yes.
And oh gosh, we got to see so many places, cities on that trip that it all became a bit of a blur. But we were in Wuxi and
Hangzhou.
Nanjing, Hangzhou, Suzhou, um, and Shanghai. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh, and that was a trip. Once again, a memorable moment, but not a great one, where you got pickpocketed.
I did. That's the only trip where that's
Yeah.
happened. But
But
yeah.
part of the excitement of travel. After that trip, then we actually had a return trip to Beijing on our own. Well, on our own in the sense that we didn't take a tour, but we did take our daughter and three of her friends. And this was their grad trip, whether it was visiting the Great Wall of China or eating scorpions in the food market. It was neat to have that experience and see it through the eyes of these young adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good trip.
Then I guess the last trip we had to China was 2018, and that was a interesting one for me. In that first we went to Hong Kong, which is a vibrant city, lots of fun. But then we crossed over to the mainland and had a chance to visit the ancestral villages where my parents were from. So it was neat to go there, see the home that is still there, where my parents lived, and then meet some people in the village that actually remembered my parents.
Yeah, that was
Mm.
incredible.
Yeah. And you had your own
Yeah.
sort of roots trip a couple of years ago when we went to Scotland.
Sort of, yeah. That was, I guess, our second most recent trip to Europe
Hmm.
for each of us. And we were able to go to Edinburgh. The Fringe Festival was going on in
Yes.
Edinburgh. And our youngest daughter and her partner joined us, so that made it lots of fun too. Yeah.
But we were able to find some paintings from some of your ancestors and find the birthplace and also
Yeah.
the tombstone of a
Yeah.
number of your relatives. So it
Yeah,
was
that was fun.
interesting.
Mhm. Yeah.
What else have we done? Oh, I guess Tokyo.
Right.
We did travel to Japan one time and went to Tokyo, and a city that like no other. Huge, sprawling city, yet so orderly, so clean, so calm.
Yeah.
Areas with such modern amenities. Then there'd be shrines and little parks.
Yeah.
We loved it there.
Yeah. An amazing culture there.
Hmm.
Yeah. And the food. Incredible food.
Yeah.
We always like the food wherever we go to.
So as you can see, with our travels, whether it's seeing sights, meeting people, trying new food, or even just the everyday things of trying to figure out transit or where to buy toothpaste, stuff like that is all part of the fun of travel.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to full-time travel. Shall we tell our viewers a bit about upcoming trips? What are our plans?
Well, we leave actually this weekend for our first little jaunt. We're off to Las Vegas.
But it's actually a trip after that that will be quite fun.
Yeah, we no sooner get back from Las Vegas than we don't even unpack our bags, I guess. We turn around and we're off to Disneyland with our grandson.
So that's going to be lots of fun. We've been to Disneyland, but it's been 9 years or so since the last time we were there. To see it through an 8-year-old's eyes and to have some fun. That will be fun.
Yeah.
And then not too long after that trip is when we actually will start our true adventure, where we have a one-way ticket to Malaysia. So we're going to be heading off to Kuala Lumpur beginning of February. We have a month-long Airbnb apartment rented for Kuala Lumpur. We'll be doing a lot of visiting of the street markets for the food market. We're just half a kilometer away from there, visiting the sites and experiencing and living the life in Kuala Lumpur.
Right.
Then from there, who knows where we'll go? Well, actually, we do know that we are going to be off to Phuket, Thailand, after a month in Malaysia. Whether we continue in Thailand, make our way through Cambodia and Vietnam, or do we make our way down to Indonesia and Philippines? Not sure. And this is why we hope that you'll come join us as we find time to wander, explore this world of ours, and just really immerse yourself in different cultures, different history, and different experiences.
Yeah. Our plan is to be away for 3 or 4 months. So come join us.
Okay, it's our time to wander. Bye.
Bye.